Welcome to the Nostalgia Test Podcast, the show where two longtime friends put their mainstream pop culture past to the ultimate test, the Nostalgia Test. My name is Daniel Dissinger here in LA, and I'm here with my co-host and friend, Manny Coelho, there in New York. How you doing, Manny?
What's going on, everyone? What up?
Yeah, and today we do have a great episode, I think.
Do the intro, bro. You got all the stats, I'm sure.
I got some stats. I got some stats.
I did look up some things on this last night.
I went into a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hole after this.
I'm gonna say I'm a believer. I changed my mind on this. When I first put it on, I was like, oh, what are we watching? Why are we doing this one? And then I am in it. I thought I was coming in here because we spoke a little bit about this earlier this week, just like kind of in passing, texting and stuff. And I was really thought I was coming in here to fight you on this one. Yeah, I didn't realize how passionate you were about this one. This was kind of like your cocktail, right? Because I was like, wow, you were really that into it. Because when we first went over this, when I first saw it, I hadn't seen this movie since I was 10, probably.
Let's let everyone know what we're talking about. This is the... Yeah. We are already in there. We haven't even told everyone that. We are.
Oh, God, yeah, we didn't even say it.
Yeah, we're talking about the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
The original.
The original, the OG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film from 1990. This movie is 90s to the core. It is... 90s to the core. It was released in March 30th, 1990. The budget of this movie was $13.5 million, and in the end, the box office total was $202 million in 1990.
Biggest independent release.
Yeah,
box office ever, which I had no idea it was independent.
So this is an indie film. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is an indie film, okay?
Indie film.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a 1990 American martial arts superhero comedy film directed by Steve Barron, based on a fictional superhero team of the same name. The story follows Splinter and the Turtles, their meeting April O'Neil and Casey Jones, and their confrontation with the Shredder and his Foot Clan. It stars Judith Hogue, Elias Koteas, and the voices of Brian Tochi, Robbie Risk, Corey Feldman, and Josh Pais.
Yes.
And
wow. Biggest name in all of that was all those names. I mean, Corey Feldman was huge back then. The fact that they got him as an independent release.
I'm still blown away about this as an indie film. And that was the one thing I didn't know going back into this movie, that this was an indie film.
I wouldn't think this was an independent film because, I mean, like, it was a comic book film. It was origin story, like, I was like, oh, yeah, of course, like, somebody was doing it to make a buck, Mm-hmm. But then after you dive into it and figure out what this all was, and that nobody even wanted to touch comic book movies after the fail of, there was a movie that came out, it was like a Marvel movie before this. The story goes that nobody wanted to make this. Nobody wanted to back this because they were like, no one's going to go see this. And I didn't realize this. They didn't want to be like the cartoon, that this was closer to the comic book. But yet, I think you needed to know a little bit more about the cartoon to even understand what the heck's going on in this movie. But I don't think they cared. That's why at first I was like, what am I watching? Like the first minute of the movie, I'm like, no, I'm going to shut this off. And then I didn't like it. We were arguing a little bit. And then I was like, let me go check this out again. And then I got into it. I believed the movie. I slipped into the world of it. And I was all in. It was really 90s. And remember Short Circuit? Remember the movie Short Circuit?
Yes. Oh, my God, yes.
95 is Alive. Yes. They came out with a second one. And the grittiness of New York in that one, they reminded me of the grittiness in this one, too. Like, it was like real dark, crappy New York.
Oh, it was gross.
Like the New York you heard, like, no one ever wanted to go to. Going into the city was terrible. Like, if you took the subway too far and you walked outside, you ran right back in. Like, Long Island people hate going there. It looked like that.
This was the New York that, for some reason, hipsters or other people kind of reminisce, going, oh, I miss that New York, when I don't know if they really understand what they do miss of that New York, because that opening scene of New York, I was just like, nope, nope,
No,
no, I'm
no.
sorry. Like, not, I know that it's crazy, weirdly gentrified now and everything, but 1990s New York, no. There's a reason why Raphael is able to walk around in broad daylight as a Ninja Turtle with just a trench coat on, because no one cares that a mutant is walking around, because everyone is a mutant in 1990 in New
Oh, it
York.
was crazy, man.
That he's walking
It was
around in a
crazy.
trench coat. I mean, we're jumping around, like going right to it, but like Raphael is just literally in a trench coat and hat and a backpack, goes to see a movie and walks around in broad daylight. I mean, there's no way that
It was
like
crazy. I was thinking that too. And like there was parts when he was doing like karate moves on the rooftop. I'm like, other people are watching, right? But like it goes back to no one gives a fuck in New York. Everyone's already strange. But look, and then like the pickpocketing that goes on, like that shit happened. That was
absolutely.
happening. So let's go back a little bit.
Let's pull it back.
Because first of all, I kind of want to start with the fact that Jim Henson was involved in this movie.
Muppet Factory. They made the Ninja Turtle costume. They made those things.
Yeah. So I don't know if you read, but he was kind of upset that there was so much violence. But like, did you not know?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, did you not know that there was going to be violence in the movie? Which of all wasn't crazy violence, but I guess for the age group, it might have been. I mean, there were certain scenes that I was like, oh, okay. I can understand why they're saying it was violent. But I don't know why he would agree to do it if he didn't know that there was some sort of karate going to go on. But I love this rendition. I don't know if you've seen the recent ones that are so CGI'd, it's annoying.
I watched a trailer of the one from 2014, I think, last night.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what I was watching. Like, I didn't know it was a movie. It didn't really look like a movie. I don't know what it was.
Like if Mountain Dew decided to do Mountain Dew decided to be in the ooze and they decided to make a movie.
Like the new Ninja Turtles, like the X Games of Ninja Turtles. Way too much Monster Energy drink. Like it was crazy. And I hate the voices, even though the voices of these Ninja Turtles are crazy, and we're gonna have to go through all of their accents.
Oh my god!
But the voices of the 2014 Ninja Turtles, they're not good. It's just not good. No. It just doesn't make sense.
And they don't even look like teenagers. They're teenagers that like work out. Remember when Ben Affleck was in that HBO movie about steroids? That was what I was remembering. I don't know. It was terrible. I seen both of them too, and I was like, first of all, the CGI throws you right off. And I understand all movies are disbelief, right? You're supposed to like suspend yourself in it and get into it. But the animatronics, the Muppeteering in this specific movie was so good that you almost were like, wow, if turtles were real, if this was real, this is kind of like the way they would look. I didn't like the rat, but because it was too much like a rat, but
I agree, because it's so great when a movie is something like this where there's like an unbelievable character that lives in the actual world of the film, so that the other actors, like the human actors, like, April O'Neil, Casey Jones, they can actually act against something and are actually interacting with something and someone. It makes it so much better, because it doesn't feel like everything around it is green screen. You're inside the film the whole time. Like, it doesn't feel like a cutscene from a video game or something crazy, right? But when it starts, it is just pickpocketing. You got your April O'Neil voiceover. You got your New York Post with no pun, which I was weirded out that the New York Post had no pun on the cover in the beginning. I was like, what? And then they started listing the things that were stolen. And that was one of my favorite parts, because they're like, everything from skateboards to car stereos. I'm like, okay, well, skateboards and car stereos, two very different items that we're talking about here. I don't know if they belong in the same thing. What was funny is I'm watching it and I realized most of these criminals, like most of these pickpockets, are these white kids. Is it because they're white that they can't see them? Because they're doing this in broad daylight. And then
it reminded me of the movie like Warriors too. Like, it's like all this was just happening. Like, what? How did you not know? Like, how do you not see this or do or say anything? It's like everybody was like scared to stand up to them and stuff. It was interesting. That was
Yeah, and
Gritty.
then they had the van full of ninjas in full ninja outfits. Who's driving this van? If
I
there's
don't know.
a ninja driving a van, that's obvious that we need to pull that van over. So
Right.
it was weird that like the ninjas weren't doing the things that were the pickpocketing, thinking like, oh, they're ninjas, right? Shredder should
Yeah,
send
yeah.
ninjas out to do the stealing because they're quiet, they're ninjas. But he sends the kids out to do that and the ninjas to be the getaway drivers. But a big thing happened to me like right away where I was like, it just like stood out the whole time too. And it's just like stereotype.
I mean, back then you figure that that's how movies were. Plus, let's not forget that, again, this is an independent film. They were able to do whatever they wanted to do. Like, I also was thinking about like characters, right? Back to this, the way they were, and they didn't use CGI, and they weren't what I would say cute to look at, right?
No.
If Disney took this over, they would have moved the eyes, they would have done this, they would have done that for it to be
Yes.
pleasant. That's why the rat, Splinter, was terrible to look at, right? He even was like, when he was about to meditate, I was like, what the hell is about to happen? Right? I think they cut that out. They probably had a long scene that he's meditating and he's like, and his face is like, thank God they had the
Yo.
kids like start dancing, right? If that was Disney or any other like big studio, they would have made them look better. They would have made them look cuter. Instead, because it was an independent, I believe, now that I see it, I'm like, oh, now I get it. They wanted to look real. They wanted to be like, if a rat became super big,
Yeah.
this is what it would look like. It's not pleasant to look at. A rat is not cute. So
But no one was pleasant to look at. It was so 90s and so like real that I was, yeah, everyone's gross and dirty and like in and out of the
April was in
sewer.
that.
But the
Everybody
thing,
was like, what were they wearing? Like, crazy.
yeah, we'll get to that. But like when we see April O'Neil in the beginning of the movie, it was a daytime broadcast. It looks like she's leaving the news station at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, that goes back into like, you just suspend the belief of you've now gone to she was there for a long time. She works all overtime,
Yeah.
and now she's like leaving home at night. I mean,
She
she's
was
leaving
like
work at night.
she was like the premier investigative journalist of New York. It was crazy the types of things that
Yeah,
she was doing. But what's
yeah.
funny is she walks outside, all these supposed teenagers are robbing her van. And who's standing there? Sam Rockwell. Now,
Sam Rockwell goes back to thinking too. Independent movie. Was this one of his first films?
it had to have been one of his first films. It had to have been. So he's supposed to be a teenager.
Looks like
And
he's 25.
it looks like he's 25 years old. Sam Rockwell. Now, somewhere in this movie, though, Skeet Ulrich is also in this film, uncredited or something like that, and
Yeah,
someone else I forget as well. So there's a lot of people in this film, right?
yeah.
But Sam Rockwell's there. They attack April O'Neil. It takes like 5 of them to tackle her to the ground, and then all of a sudden, here come the turtles, right?
The worst cut ever is when Raph throws his weapon and hits the light, and it takes like a second for the light to go off.
Yeah,
It needs to show you the
Yeah.
weapon.
yeah.
That was a bad cut, but they do what they do. Then it goes like this weird beginning title credit scene.
Yeah, that was the cold
Cold.
open to the movie.
Cold.
And then this weird hip hop funky introduction to the movie. Then you get everyone's personality and accent. So I just want like
Right there. Okay. This movie doesn't even introduce you slow. It's just like, hey, you better know about the turtles. Right?
We have
Because
no
I'm like,
time to explain this
that's
to
why I
you.
didn't like it at first, because I was like, they're just talking like nonsense. That was spectacular. Goofaroonie.
Righteous!
Righteous.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, God.
and you're like, if you didn't see the cartoon
Yeah.
right away, this is for the fans. Like,
Yeah.
we're going right to the fans.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to go back and talk about the origin story.
Yeah.
And that's what, like 20 minutes later. But we're going to get to these guys right away. Like, this
Yeah.
is how goofy they are.
Yeah.
They're teenagers.
That's
So,
what I want to talk about. They're
Okay.
teenagers. Okay, later on in the movie, you find out this is 15 years ago that this started, like that they were mutated.
Yes. But are
They're
they all teenagers?
I think they're all supposed to be the same age.
You think so? Because I wanted to talk about that. Because it seems like Raph is definitely older. he may still be a teenager, but he might be like the senior. And him and Leonardo are the seniors, and Donatello might be the sophomore, junior, and Michelangelo is a freshman.
But
Like,
Donatello has an accent out of a 1950s gangster movie. He's talking about all this weird stuff. And
Donatello or
wait,
Raph?
no, Raphael is from a borough of New York that you only make movies about New York on. That's the accent that he has, the New York accent that you only use in movies about New York.
It was definitely the most exaggerated version of New York ever, but didn't sound like a 15-year-old that would talk like that. He sounded like an older person.
He sounded like Rocky Balboa.
Yes, yeah.
I lost the sight.
Lost the sight. Lost it.
Then it is God. Splinter is every Zen Buddhist cliche throughout the whole movie.
The whole movie.
It is God. It's just like, it's like ridiculous.
His quotes are only Zen Buddhist. He doesn't say anything.
Nothing. He says
if it's a message, you know. You have such a young face to have so many African faces.
I was like, hold so many burdens or something like that.
That holds so many burdens. And everything is the whole story. You're like, shut up. Like, all of this is starting with him and Raph, and he's like, remember me and remember your brother.
Oh my God, yes. That was so emotional, though. Yeah. So you got Raphael's from some place in New York that no one knows, but they only make movies. Michelangelo has a SoCal accent. I don't know how. Yeah,
Michelangelo is supposed to be the party guy.
Yeah.
So they're saying like, oh, we're going to make him like the surfer man.
Yeah.
Surfer from Cali, but he lives in New York.
But he's never been to California. He's only
never
been in the sewer.
He's been in the sewer of New York, but he somehow picked up an accent that sounds like he's from California.
Yeah, he sounds like he's been in like the movie Three Ninjas, but like or Surf Ninjas. It doesn't make sense because they all have different accents. And then Leonardo has some sort of nondescript I'm the leader accent, which is like the reason why out of all the Ninja Turtles, Leonardo is by far my least favorite. Just like in the X-Men, Cyclops is the worst. Like my least favorite X-Men. He's just annoying, and I'm just like, why do we even care about this character?
I don't even know where he displays good leadership.
Never does.
In any of the shows or whatever, he kind of is always the neutral guy, but for some reason he's the captain.
Yeah.
Like, but is he leading by not leading?
It's like he's leading by maybe because he wears blue. Like I maybe that's why. I have no idea.
Because his name starts with an L. I don't know. But
he's the most.
It always seems like to me that Raphael is the hidden leader.
Yeah. First of all, Raphael has like a whole journey. It's really a movie about Raphael. Like this is a movie about Raphael most of the time. I mean, it's his film.
Right away, he forgets. He loses his.
Yeah. Loses his sight.
And then he leaves, and he's like, "I'm going to go to the movies."
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you're just going to, your rat sensei just said, you have to learn the art of fitting in and not being seen, and you're going to go to the movies wearing a trench coat that has a backpack for some reason.
And a fedora.
And a fedora. And you're just going to go, and no one's going to stop you. And then meanwhile, that's happening with Donatello, who's supposed to be the smartest person in the room.
He's supposed to be a scientist.
And Leonardo are doing a dance. They're dancing. Everyone's dancing. There's a Egyptian dance going on. Wow, Splinter is still doing his little speech of some sort. And then Raphael's just like, I'm out, and then no one stops him. That's why this movie it's a Raphael movie. Yeah. And Raphael is the hidden leader.
Where'd they get money?
I don't know.
Where did they have money?
They're trying to figure out, like, where did they get $10 to pay this for this pizza? What's crazy is that we haven't even left 20 minutes of this movie.
This isn't even 20 minutes into the film yet.
In the meantime, there was a pizza being delivered, right? And Michelangelo's eating a popsicle. It seems like it's a popsicle. Right. And Donatello comes in skateboarding and says something to Michelangelo about, like, Splinter talking about not being there anymore. Yeah. It's like some heavy shit. And you know what Michelangelo's response is? It's, dude, 3 minutes late.
$3 up.
$3 up. I'm like, what? Like, guy's brainless. The guy is brainless.
But my question was, do you remember that? If the Domino's pizza was late, there was like a discount?
Yes, there was. There was
Oh,
a
man.
promotion that they did that is 30 minutes or less, or it's free.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So yeah, yes. I don't know if they did that after the movie or during, but another key little hint that I saw was that Pizza Hut took out like a lot of money in advertising money to push this movie, even though the movie had Domino's in it.
Yeah.
I think nowadays, if it would happen, I'm sure they would have CGI'd that and made it a Domino's. I
Yeah.
mean, a Pizza Hut delivery instead of a Domino's. Also, product placement was everywhere in this
Oh my
movie.
God.
McDonald's weirdly placed while Danny the
Oh, that was
the
Burger King.
Burger King, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say something about that. This is what made me realize this is an indie film. All the product placement was like the B team product placement. Instead of McDonald's at that time, Burger King was not as great, right? So you had
No.
like this Burger King box and it looked horrible.
Yeah.
You have Pepsi instead of Coke. You
Yep.
have Domino's instead of Pizza Hut. I mean, with a $13.5 million budget in 1990, they're lucky they shot most of it in North Carolina. You could tell that the product placement was nothing. And then when you think of like what happened in The Secret of the Ooze, first of all, they didn't even make as much money.
Of
Vanilla
course, because then
that film.
yeah.
So like they
But
made
then because it became a phenomenon, right? Because they're like, now we want to back this movie. Overnight, it became like this huge success.
So they're waiting for that pizza. Michelangelo, not hearing Donatello, he totally has zero brains. And what's funny is like he is probably one of the more popular Ninja Turtles. Everyone loved Michelangelo because he was funny. He's super annoying, like super annoying.
So it's funny you say that because I always liked Michelangelo, obviously. Party dude, always like center of attention, crazy. I mean, there's a lot of things that I take from him, right? I, in fact, actually just bought a Michelangelo costume for a advertisement for the brewery. All because of this movie. So I have to thank you. I was like, oh, I should do something with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm getting Michelangelo because of the M, or because he's a party dude.
That's right.
But I do want to say, yes, I became a fan of Raphael.
Yeah.
He's the most well-rounded, most like attitude, or like always fixed to like, yo, let's get this done. Leonardo doesn't know what to do. Leonardo doesn't move. He's just kind of sits trying to be all like sensei and zen like. And Raphael's like, oh, we gotta get we gotta get him. Yeah, Raphael's the man. He's the man.
I love that he went to the movies. I think it's hilarious. And I wrote in my notes, said it before, but like New York is perfect for this, for him going to the movies, because New York in the 90s is a city of mutants. Because like think of it, he had to go to the movies. He had to hand money to someone with 3 fingers, 3 green fingers.
Yeah.
How did he get the ticket? How did he go inside? How did he sit in that chair with a shell on his back?
That's not comfortable.
He's not wearing shoes.
You gotta be like leaning forward, right? Yeah.
He's not wearing shoes. That's the dead giveaway. Yeah. Obviously, people in New York, and this is a movie, you can't do this movie anywhere else. It had to be New York.
And then he went to go see Critters.
That was
supposed to be a different movie. They changed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was supposed to be a movie that was kind of based on another comic book writer. I don't know why they changed it for that. I guess to just advertise for Critters.
Right.
Yeah. So the best thing though, like the next scene is Casey Jones right into it. Like, yo, let's introduce the human in this. Boom, right in. This fight between him and Casey Jones, and how Casey Jones is just cool with it. He didn't like bug out that there was a turtle that he had to fight. He was just like, all right, cool.
He didn't even know he was a turtle. First of all, Casey Jones, one of my favorite characters. I love this guy. Amazing actor. First of all, this actor, I love this actor because he's Chicago PD, one of the most brooding characters of all time on TV.
Oh, he was awesome in that movie, in that show. I brought that up because Kristen really likes Chicago PD, and I was like, yo, you know who that guy is, right? And she's like, no, it's not. I was like, oh, look it up. It's definitely him. And it's just like, no way. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I can't even believe it. I'm like, yeah, he was like, what, 20 at the time? It's like really young.
Elias Koteas. That's how I think you say his name. I mean, unbelievable actor. So Casey Jones comes in because these 2 kids stole a pocketbook. Then Raphael stops them by tripping them. And like having
big green foot.
His big green foot. No one notices that he just got tripped by a foot. He turns around and he opens his jacket and points to a sigh on his back, right? Now, the kids run away. And in my head, I'm like, Now, as an adult, I'm like, they definitely ran away because they saw that this was a turtle, right? Like, not because of,
That's what I thought. I was like, wait, they ran away because of the weapon, or because they were like, oh, that was a big green turtle.
yeah, we just got tripped by an alien. Like, it's a mutant, right? So they jump over into Central Park, I'm guessing, or wherever.
Which is already scary in the rambles of
In the 90s, you're jumping into Central Park. That was the worst place to go. Of course you're meeting Casey Jones there. That guy is prowling Central Park in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah.
He comes in and he straight up hits that kid in the face with a hockey stick. He has to go to the hospital. That kid has to go to the hospital because
What was this rated? PG?
PG.
PG, and a man hits another person in the face.
A child. He hits a child. There is so much child abuse in this film. It's not
PG.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was talking about yesterday. I was watching, I'm like, this is PG. If I compare that to recent PG movies, this would have to be a PG-13 film.
Oh, it's definitely a PG-13 film. Dude, they straight up hit each other with weapons.
He didn't just hit the kid. He spun around and hit him with the edge of the hockey stick.
He has like more weapons. He had a cricket. He had, I think, a baseball bat at one point.
Well, those are his superpowers.
Yeah. he's a washed up pro amateur.
Yeah, who's now a homeless renegade, who I will talk about his sweatpants at a later part of the podcast. It's the most obscene sweatpants of all time.
Everything about him was obscene. The mask, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on.
Okay, you played hockey, so did I.
Yeah.
That's not a real hockey mask.
That was a mask, like, to go against like Friday the 13th, like kind of mask. That's when it was like the 70s. Like in the 90s, we had goalie masks that were better than that. And this guy's wearing this.
Could you imagine playing hockey with people for the first time, being like, and someone rolling up with that mask, kind of like, I have to go home. Like, I'm not just nuts. So Casey Jones is about to, I guess, kill this kid who would like play high sticking the kid now in the head.
Yeah.
And he is stopped by Raphael in his jacket and hat. And Casey Jones still doesn't know that this is a turtle at all.
No.
It's
dark, Dan. It's dark. And New York City in the 90s, there was only like one lamp. The whole time, Casey Jones and him.
Okay, so they're fighting in the dark. Okay. 90s dark. This is my favorite part because at this point, probably even earlier, I realized I know every line of dialogue in this film.
Really?
Dude, because every time Raphael opened his mouth, I was like, you got cricket? You got to know what a crumpet is before you... Like, first of all, that means nothing. Second of all, no wonder you got hit in the head with a cricket bat. But, like... but he got hit. And they do this shot so many times in this movie of, like, underneath and a floating body. And like,
the only thing they could do. It's the only thing they can do with their budget. They're like,
and he lands in a wireframe garbage can and can't get out of it.
No,
he's
terrible.
A mutant ninja turtle. He has muscles. This garbage can, he is stuck in it, and Casey Jones gets away, and Raphael then runs after him. Right, hops over a taxi cab. Josh Price is in the taxi cab, who's the voice of one of them, I think. I forget who.
The voice of Raphael.
He's the voice of Raphael.
Yeah, so I read that. Everybody who played the voice makes a cameo.
But wait, Corey Feldman didn't make a...
Maybe not, but, he only got paid like $1,200. I think he made money in the back end. He didn't think he was going to make that much money.
Poor Corey Feldman.
Yeah, so he was in it, and it says, like, was that a turtle in a trench coat?
He's like, what was it? He's like, looked like a giant turtle in a trench coat. You going to LaGuardia? Yeah, the greatest line. And then Raphael screams, damn, which is like the curse word for the entire show, the entire movie.
Yes. And again, sets up that they're terrible at what they do. Just
horrible.
They're not good.
Well, they're 15.
I know that. They beat up, the first group, put he gets his butt kicked by Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Is Casey Jones that powerful?
Oh, he looks scrawny. He's not a ninja.
No,
He just
swings bats.
he's a bag full of sporting equipment.
He just swings bats, dude. So that fight lost, right?
Yeah, so that's a loss. He goes back and gets the
No.
speech from Splinter.
Yeah, and that came out of nowhere, right? And
There
you're like,
are so many emotional moments in this movie where I'm
but that
just
happened
like,
so quickly too.
1990. So I'm at that time 8,
Mm-hmm.
like 8 years old, 9 years old when I saw this.
Mm-hmm.
Those moments must have went right over my head.
Yeah, you were 8. You were just waiting for the next scene.
Yeah, which is April's apartment. Which April's apartment, I have questions about where she lives because
So did you notice that the glass was broken on the window?
yeah, the glass was broken. Later, we see her tub. It's gross.
She's supposed to be like the #1 reporter in New York.
In New York. She lives on 11th and Bleecker in the 90s over an antique shop that her family owned. We don't know what happened to her parents. I'm guessing everyone that she knows is dead. I don't know.
Nobody runs the antique store because it's all dusty and gross.
She opens it twice a week.
When?
On the weekends, she says to them later. But this is my question. She owns downstairs. Does she own the entire upstairs? Is she the only apartment?
I don't know because of what happens is insane then.
Yeah, because then everyone died in that building. Yeah. But like, there's a lot of unspecified death in this movie, and we're gonna get to all of it.
That kind of goes along with like any children's thing with like cartoons and stuff. And you're like, oh, we're not gonna talk about that. All those people just died.
So anyway, Danny is in there. He's got a Walkman, which is like a hot commodity. Do you remember your Walkman?
I do.
I mean, do you miss having a Walkman?
I think I miss like some of the songs I used to listen to on there. I don't know if I really no, I don't. No. Not anymore. And then I can listen to any album I want now. Imagine having to have 20 cassettes on you right now.
I used to pack all those CDs when I had Discman for school. I used to pack a bunch of albums to listen to. I don't know what I was thinking. But like I had a Walkman, I had a radio on it too, which was awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So April is in there, they're talking. Her boss is like Mr. Belding's cousin or something. He was like the most whiny boss of all time.
He reminded me of the news guy from Spider-Man. He wants the news, but he also gets bought by people, and he's whiny, he hates everybody. He's a typical like boss of a news. So.
Yeah, and his kid is super annoying, but he robs April O'Neil of $20.
Yes.
This kid is gross and horrible. After that, because she's pressing the police chief, we see her with the police chief in City Hall doing her job, I guess. Cut to what looks like about 25 television, and Shredder is watching all 25 televisions, watching April.
the same channel. The same channel. You would think if you have 25 televisions, you're using it to see everything that's going on. Instead, he chose to watch one show.
The Channel 9 News.
The Channel 9 News. But then it gives him a chance to throw something at one of them.
What was that?
It was a terrible cut, too. It was terrible.
That was maybe the only CGI in the whole movie.
Yeah.
It didn't look good. It looked like a weird knife. It just looked like a stick. Just like a point on it.
It was bad. I was like, okay, move on.
Yeah. So she gets yelled at by the police chief, who this guy is crazy.
Well, he's a typical, bought out, corrupted, doesn't believe anything, really underlying racism going on in here. This movie would not fly in this world today.
This guy says some crazy stuff.
Oh my God. And even like just how Splinter talked. You're just like, wow, okay.
Okay, you're right. And I'm down with that. But let's understand two things about this movie. Shredder and his partner there, both played by Asian actors, right?
Sure.
Voiced by two white guys to sound stereotypically, in a very horribly racist way, Asian.
Are you kidding?
No.
That wasn't their voice?
No.
So they were voiced to sound like they were speaking English.
I'm pretty sure. I looked on the IMDb page, and it was like Shredder and then Shredder voice.
Whoa. Mind is blown.
Like, I'm pretty sure, because then I started watching the lips.
As well have been a Disney movie then.
Yeah, it's dubbed terribly. Like, they must have ADR'd the whole thing. But had two white guys do it in this really weird racist way.
That just blew me away because I just thought the most racist or just racist sounding was the rat, was Splinter. But I definitely don't think that would have passed right now.
So now Shredder wants April silenced. What does he do? He sends a ton of ninjas her way. But who's following her in broad daylight, again in his mastered disguise? Raphael.
The leader. Not Leonardo.
No. Raphael, because everyone else is at home just like drooling over April O'Neil. I mean, it is really weird how infatuated they are with her, I guess, because they're 15.
That's kind of like teenage crush shit.
Yeah. He goes after them. The only added part of his disguise is a New York Post. So he's just hiding behind a newspaper. Still a gigantic turtle. No shoes.
Still not wearing shoes.
Yeah, no shoes. So he runs down to the subway. She runs down to the subway. It's broad daylight. She's at the city hall stop. People get on the train. There's no one there.
No one's there.
During the day, she's not the only one who missed the train that day. Like right then and there. Like there's a million other people that missed the train. And she's by herself. So this is the third time that April O'Neil is victimized in this movie. In the beginning, she's jumped by Sam Rockwell and like a bunch of other guys. Danny steals $20 from her. That's the second time that she's victimized. Yeah. And then this is the third time you could say maybe the fourth time at this point because she is screamed at by the police chief, but we'll let that one slide, I guess. So she gets victimized again when she just gets smacked in the face by a ninja. And then and she pulls a sigh out of her pocketbook, which is
that she's just had around.
Yeah, but that's my question.
And that's another reason why Raph was following her, because he wanted that back. So,
but this is what's funny. You're a New Yorker, right? Okay, maybe you want to bring something with you to defend yourself. So she woke up that day and she's like, all right, I got my lipstick, I got this, I got maybe a snack for later, and my sigh that I found.
And I have no idea how to use.
No, she pulls out, immediately gets knocked out of her hand, of course. And what does she do? She then's like, that's it. Like a real New Yorker, she's like, I'm not going down. She tries to beat these ninjas up with her pocketbook. They take a bunch of blows and then they just like punch her in the face or something.
Yeah.
Oh, God. She goes down. And then Raphael comes to the rescue and totally kicks butt and then jumps down onto the train tracks into the sewer with April O'Neil.
And doesn't think at all that people are going to follow you.
Right. It's not like you killed any of these guys. They're going to follow you.
Yes.
But here's the thing. They must all smell like garbage because they live in the sewer, right? He must smell terrible when he goes out to watch the movie. He's got to have piss and shit on his feet while he's like walking around because they're walking through the sewer. There's no way that they get away with any of this.
I mean, that's where you have to just go, well, I mean, it is a movie about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, later on, April's walking down there in flats.
Yeah.
Like feet exposed.
Yeah. They live in a different world than we are in. But for some reason, it's based in New York. So, like, there's Dirty New York, but there's also, it's a movie about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And a rat that has, like, some weird sweat on him.
He always looks wet.
Always. Well, yeah, because he's in the sewer.
But that's my thing. All of the sewage is raining down on them, and they're eating pizza that God knows what's going on. And they have a payphone down there?
Yeah. And how do they use it? Where do they get quarters from? Are they just getting money that falls down there?
All the money that falls through the sewer grating, they're down there collecting it.
Yeah,
oh my God.
That's what it is. It's like they're just getting money from like coins and quarters and dollars that people drop.
Yeah. I just want to
probably explanation.
Absolutely.
They're not stealing it.
No.
But,
And I just want to remind everyone that I love this movie.
Let's also remind everybody, it's a movie that was meant for like 9-year-olds. Maybe even 15-year-olds and down.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Well, then we get they bring her down there. They lay her on the couch. This is another one of them, another amazing Raphael line when it's like, what do you think we'd do? It's like, I don't know. Little couple throw pillows, a TV news reporter. Raphael is laying on the New York accent thicker than like the sewage that is down there.
It goes back to the fact that I think he's older. I gotta research more behind the original of this. Is like there must be something saying like if they're all the same age or not.
I guess maybe not. I guess not. I mean, I guess maybe Raphael
Or
could be like 19.
or is he like acting that way because he like saw a certain movie or whatever?
Yeah, but they're all real like cinephiles. They love watching films because maybe that's it. Maybe they all took on a different personality from a movie they love because after they tell April, you know, she wakes up, starts screaming.
She wakes up, starts screaming because you wake up and there's a rat the size of you in front of you who hasn't moved.
No.
Okay. He's been rained on. Sewage, wet.
Stuck in that chair.
Okay. It takes 3 people to control this rat, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. So, she's screaming.
But it's
then she calms down in like 5 seconds. Splinter goes right into Mr. like origin. Now we get the origin.
Yeah. Now we get a little bit. We get a little bit of the origin story.
What are we in there? A half hour in?
It's a 93-minute movie, about like half hour in.
We're half hour in.
Yeah, because like we get the origin story, we get a little bit of the origin story. And that's one thing I did appreciate about this film. It didn't just like pound the origin story all at the beginning. It made the origin story part of a new narrative, right? So like there's a narrative of the film and then they're like, let's tell you where they came from as we need to. I like that because it doesn't waste a movie to kind of be like, here's the origin movie, you know, because how many times we have to see that over and over again, the reboot of Spider-Man, how many times am I going to have to see another origin story, or even Batman? It was fine, but like, I want a Batman story while, like the first Batman was Michael Keaton, right? Batman already exists, Batman's there doing his thing, and then we learn kind of how he becomes Batman. You know what I mean? I don't care about a whole movie where he's becoming Batman. It doesn't matter. This movie does that really well. It's like, here's a narrative, but we're going to tell you what happened as we need. And that I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, because then it would have been boring just the movie of them just becoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, what are we going to watch? It's going to be like watching the Muppet Babies. So we're going to watch a bunch of like illiterate turtles jumping around screaming pizza and radical. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what am I watching?
I want to know which show they watched first. That's what their major things were. Radical,
pizza,
cowabunga, pizza. More to that. I think I'm going to go into the turtle hole instead of the rabbit hole that is this world of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which apparently there's like a whole documentary on. Like, well, did you know that the actor or stunt person who played Raphael was claustrophobic, so he had to do his scene and then take it off and take the mask off every time.
Oh my God, that is terrifying. So they tell April O'Neil what happens. She's immediately, I guess, inoculated from being around a bunch of mutants.
Falls right into it though.
Totally fine. Then what happens? Next cut, they're in her house. I don't know how they got there. How do they get to her house? It's like, this is a New York City that exists where there's no people. Because
somehow they can get out of the sewer, first of all.
They can just climb.
Pop up and then not have to check anywhere to see if anybody's around.
They're just climbing out of the sewer.
And 4 of them, plus the rat, takes 3 people, by the way, to move him, gets up and he's walking around. I'd like to see him walk around.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of walking.
No, they did not have that in the puppeteering section.
No, he's stuck in that man-made chair of some sorts. So they go back to her apartment. They all must be covered in piss and shit at this point. And then, like, they immediately start eating food. Like, they start eating pizza. Like, they are gross. Not one person takes a shower in this entire movie. But, like, so...
Raph does end up being in a tub.
Yeah, in a tub. Like, you know. But this is where the movie truly picks up. Because this movie starts to get even more on the border of PG-13 than ever. They go back to... I guess, house in the sewer. April does that weird thing where she's saying goodbye to everyone. Is it daylight? Is it nighttime? I don't know, because they're leaving with no disguises to go back into the sewer. I mean, I don't know how that's going to happen, but she does this thing where I took notice of this. She closes the door and like leans her back against it like she's in love with one of them, with Raphael, because that's the last one.
Yeah, because she kind of doesn't she mention him in the news or something like that?
Totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
So this is a love story.
Older. It's a love story, but that's what I'm saying. How old is Raph?
How old is Raph? This is a love story between a mutant turtle and a news reporter.
Yes, who he left his weapon with. Like, she fell in love with him because he left an article of clothing with her.
Absolutely. And then it's a mad search for her. So she's in love, right? It's really weird.
And Raph doesn't care at all. Being a player the whole time. Mikey won't stop talking.
Oh my God. It's just like over him and Donatello. I mean, it's just like crazy.
Leonardo, I don't know what's going on. Leonardo's in love with Raph. But like
Michelangelo Donatello, I feel like it's a dangerous situation for them to even be near April O'Neil. I think they shouldn't even be close to her at all. I guess they sneak back down into the sewer. What happens? Splinter's been kidnapped. He's not there.
Splinter!
More screaming, an amazing shot. I love that spinning, shaking shot. Lots of emotion. Great job, New Line Cinema. They go back. But this is, again, what time of day is it?
Oh, when they're just in the hallway?
Yeah.
April's hallway?
Yeah.
Again, she must own the building, and nobody lives in the building.
This is the third time they've surfaced to go into this building.
Yes.
Are they on the street buzzing in?
No, they must have came from the roof.
Through the roof? How'd they get to the roof?
Through the fire escape.
This is the most memorable part of this movie for me when I was a kid. We go and we finally see where all the child soldiers are from Shredder's army. It opens up on a 9-year-old probably smoking a gigantic cigar.
Yes.
I love this part. I mean,
this part shows you like, yo, we're badasses. This is the warrior part. This is like, that's what this is.
Do you remember this from the movie when you could did you want to be there?
Yeah, because they had to put skaters in there, right?
Skaters are evil.
Yeah.
And on wheels.
There was pool tables?
Pool tables.
It was fun. It looked fun.
Joe, it looked like an arcade. You had arcade games, you had skating, you had, 9-year-olds smoking cigars, you had as many cigarettes as you wanted. I mean, this was weird.
Who was cooking though? Was there a cafeteria?
Dude, I don't know, because I also want to know where this place was.
I'm just trying to think there's no actual.
Was that Long Island City? Because that's the only thing I could think of, that it was Long Island City.
Possible.
Because just like from Cocktail, Long Island City in that movie was a garbage place. This had to have been some sort of weird area in Long Island City. But I love this part. And once again, who shows up? Sam Rockwell pushing cigarettes on kids. That was amazing.
Was he was he supposed to be the leader?
I felt like he was some sort of de facto leader of the non-ninja people of this whole thing.
But it was crazy because it seemed like there was also a class system in this whole thing where it was you could either be the lackeys who were stealing, and then you could also choose to take karate class and move up.
Karate class.
Move up in the rankings of the belt. Wasn't this the scene too? Somebody got to get a mask.
So you see the child soldiers, they're doing graffitis, and then hard cut to ninjas, and then all of a sudden Tatsu attacking the one kid as this, in training. He bows, and that kid gets kicked in the face. Dude, there's so much child abuse in this movie. Casey Jones hits a kid in the face with a hockey stick. This guy just gets kicked in the face by an adult. And then Shredder comes, and everyone has to go see Shredder. Shredder comes out in a glitter cape and glitter pajamas. They definitely spent all their money on everything else, but they were like, oh, crap. We still have Shredder. Oh, no. What are we going to do? And it was like that.
Yeah.
It was like that costume you buy at last minute at the Halloween store that only opens for Halloween. And there's one thing left. And it's just I guess I'm going to try to wear that.
Yeah. There was glitter, purple suit with glitter. And the weird thing is, why did it come with a cape? And then that guy has to take the cape off of him after he walks into the arena.
How big is this building? It's the biggest factory. He's folding back the cape. This is my favorite part, to unveil more metal and
Exactly.
And like Shredder is Bane before there was Bane. They stole this voice for Bane. He's wearing the Bane mask almost, and he's like, he puts the weird mask on that kid's face. And being a foot soldier is terrible.
You're covered with this netting, this metal netting over your eyes. It was weird.
How are you supposed to fight like that?
I don't know.
And you can't breathe in that thing.
No,
There's no air holes.
No. Even now, like, I gotta wear a mask all the time when, being outside. And I'm like, this is like tough. It's not good for fighting. It's not good for heavy breathing.
Like, now imagine doing a roundhouse with
Yeah, you need like all the breathing you can have. And also your face needs to like breathe so you're not sweating and it goes over your eyes and your eyes are getting hurt because of the sweat.
Okay, so Shredder makes this crazy speech about like him being their father. That was creepy. And then what happens? Danny rats on. Oh no, wait, because did he see the turtles yet? Yeah, she does. He sees the Ninja Turtles in April's apartment. Remember?
Yes. Yeah, because he sees them in like in a reflection in a mirror.
But like that scene where like Michelangelo is hiding under a kitchen table. You're a ninja. What kind of choice is that? Obviously, then someone has seen them on the street.
You're a turtle. Like, why not just be your shell and that's it?
Okay, so then they're back at her apartment. Raphael and Leonardo get into a fight because, of course, Raphael goes to the roof to, I guess, work out or like blow steam.
Well, he starts to blow up steam. The funny part of that scene, Leonardo and Raph are fighting about something. I guess one of them wants to go right after and find Splinter. The other one wants to take their time. And the other two just go, fight, and walk away. Yeah. Like, they clearly know that they're not the leaders.
The leadership is being fought over Raphael and Leonardo.
Yeah. The person who this is all at fault was Raphael because he let himself be seen. Yeah. Because he goes out to watch movies and, with these girls and brings her to their hiding place in the sewer.
Yeah. No, this is all Raphael's fault because, like, he should have just left the Psy alone. I'm pretty sure they could have gotten another Psy.
Dude, the movie would have ended with this. Then it's gone.
Roll credits.
It lost the Psy. Then it's gone. Movie over.
Roll credits.
Roll credits. That's it. Could have been over. So now he's like, I'm going to get out of here. Oh, let him do it. He does it all the time. And he starts doing weird karate. I don't know what he was doing. He was just doing things.
Some cartwheels.
And then why is Casey Jones?
I have no idea why Casey Jones is on that rooftop. Why he's fiddling with a radio.
My assumption was that he was trying to get like police frequency. Like he was trying to see any police activity.
He's the Punisher.
Yeah.
My favorite product placement is right here in this moment with Casey Jones. On the ground by his foot is a glass bottle of Gatorade.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
Dude, he's an athlete.
Yes, he's an athlete. He needs his Gatorade.
Dude, that was only for athletes. Mitch Hedberg even said it.
That's right. It's like, right.
They forget it. Gatorade forgets about that. Demographic.
Do you remember glass bottle Gatorade though?
No.
Oh, Gatorade was great. So much better in a glass bottle.
Anything is better in a glass bottle. Coke is better in a glass bottle. Orange soda is better than Fanta is better in a glass bottle.
Faygo way better in a glass bottle.
I mean, come on.
But yeah, so he has Gatorade. Obviously, you're right because he's an athlete. So that's why Casey Jones needs
That's
Gatorade.
Why they have it. They're like, what are we going to give him as a product placement? Well, he's an athlete. Gatorade.
Still wearing the same clothes he was wearing maybe 4 days ago.
The sweatpants?
Sweatpants, man. I can't wait. We're going to get to those sweatpants.
We haven't even gotten to the sweatpants.
No, there's a problem with those sweatpants.
So the best thing is Raph does not give a shit about Splinter's wisdom all the time. He's like, you need to master the art of not being seen. Raph goes up to go do cartwheels on a rooftop.
And stare over the ledge.
And they're not even at the tallest building in New York. He's in a very low...
He's in a very low roof.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Two floors. There's 2 floors. The antique shop and then the apartment shot, an apartment floor. That's it.
2 floors.
That's 2 floors. So you're definitely being seen. 100%. Right? So what happens? The foot come behind him and it's gearing up for what I think is one of the greatest fight scenes in this whole movie, basically. But what's really hilarious is that when April O'Neil comes back, Leonardo literally asks her, "Have you heard anything?" About what? Have you heard? Did anyone report a kidnapped mutant rat? I mean, no one's gonna hear anything, you idiot. Hey, have you heard? No, we're gonna put the report out. We're gonna keep waiting. I'm sure something will come up. You are? You're sure something's gonna come up about a mutant rat being kidnapped by a guy covered in blades? I know you're chasing down this army of child soldiers, right? But like, you're not gonna tell, like, have you heard anything?
Who's terrible leader?
Terrible leader.
As we're going through this, he's like the guy when you play like games and you have to pick the different strengths.
Oh,
he's kinda like the average guy.
Yeah.
Like, in Super Mario Brothers 2, he's Mario.
Yeah, he's no one cares. He's like, there's no power here. Yes, what the hell with this guy?
Yeah, he's average. He's okay.
Yeah,
like,
and Donatello's like Luigi. Because he carries a stick. Now, I thought the stick was a cool weapon, but like, that stick's gonna get cut in half.
It is a good weapon, especially in these movies, because they basically only use their weapons to kind of like scare people. Like Donatello has 2 swords. I mean, not Donatello, Leonardo. And I know we're about to go through this big fight scene, but like anytime he brings it out, he never uses the sword.
No,
except one time.
One time.
Where he like stabs a wall.
Right, but he also slices Shredder's arm.
He does? Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, no.
Nothing.
Never. He's got 2 swords, Dan. And this goes back to thinking about these 2 guys, Raph and Leonardo.
Yeah.
They possess the only metal stabbing weapons. The other 2 have wooden weapons.
Yeah, and okay. I really believe the nunchucks are the worst weapon.
There's people that I know that would actually argue. Dude, I think it's a terrible weapon.
You're going to hurt yourself before anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have a stick. You know, I'd be smashing people in the face with it. But anyway.
You people way longer. Like, you know.
Way longer.
The nunchuck, you got to be close. That thing only flying like a foot away.
Like, what's the point?
You hit yourself in the face.
Yeah, what's the point?
I don't.
So then Raph has this gigantic rooftop fight. He gets his ass kicked.
Destroyed.
Not only does he get his ass kicked, he gets thrown through a glass skylight. I mean, he should be dead. But that fight on the rooftop, though, starts amazing. And this is the thing about Ninja Turtles, and this is why I love this movie. The fight choreography, for what it was, like for what the movie's supposed to be, was great. It was great.
It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It was great.
I don't think they're great fighters, but I do like it.
They're not great fighters, but you got to think, like, you are doing some crazy stuff inside this gigantic, like,
Did you know that they had to shoot it at a different frame rate because of how
oh, wow.
cumbersome it was?
That makes a lot of sense.
They actually moved a lot slower than what we're seeing.
Oh, my God.
They also had to dub in some things because of that.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's horrible. I don't know.
Can we just talk about that they still haven't really gone to search for Splinter.
Nothing's happened in this film, really.
They're going downstairs to go look at antiques while their master might be dead.
They wait to see if anyone reported a kidnapped rat. So they have a lot of time to go look through antiques. And, you know, they go back upstairs. Raphael gets thrown through a skylight. And this is the 4th time April gets victimized in this movie. Her apartment is destroyed by ninjas.
Destroyed.
Like, they jump through every window, every sort of place. You have your famous nunchuck off with, like, Michelangelo and the foot soldier. Then they have...
I believe was the other guy who played Michelangelo.
Is that who did it?
Mm-hmm.
So many amazing internal cameos.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they had a low budget, bro. They only wanted to pay one guy to do 3 different roles.
Anyone want to do this role right here? You, come on, let's go. Do it.
Oh, the voice of Shredder. You want to also play? You want to play a foot soldier too? What about his robe? Who wants to play his robe?
Who wants to get kicked in the face? You kid, this kid, kick that kid in the face. Let's go. Did you get that shot? But if we believe all the foot soldiers have to be kids, right? The way it's all set up, it's like the foot soldiers are oldest 18, 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, probably 17 years old. So this is a movie about child soldiers fighting other child ninjas.
And then it's also about how comfortable they are about seeing 4 mutant turtles. Because if I was a ninja and I've never seen a turtle before, and they're going to fight me, I'm out. I'm out. I don't care how good
my head off, and
ninja I am. I'd be like, there's a turtle, and he's the size of me.
That's a monster.
We're not fighting. We're not fighting. They were totally comfortable with it.
You want me to fight this monster? Like, there's a monster. There's 4 monsters in the world that know 1 English, 2 dialects. They all have a specific dialect, and 3 are ninjas. And they're ninjas.
They call themselves ninjas.
And I would be screaming my head off, being like, "I'm out of here!" But
yeah, what is this for?
Yeah,
TV to go smoke a cigar, play pool.
Like, I'm just gonna go play Narc again over there in the arcade. I was cool.
I don't need to do the belt graduation thing. I could just steal stuff.
I was good with the pickpocketing, the free Walkman, and like, a few cigars a day. Like, I don't want to fight monsters. They have weapons. Like, what the? And then the best part about this whole fight, the other ninjas bring in, one guy runs in with all his axes.
Carrying axes, and they suck at using them.
Where did this guy come from? Is there a car outside?
That's another thing. First of all, how do they all get there, and why are the cops not seeing this?
Why is no one seeing this?
No one wanted to call 911. Nothing.
Everyone's in quarantine in this movie, apparently, as well. Like, no one's on the street.
That's exactly it. This actually took place during quarantine.
Yeah, like, what is happening? Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
The best part is, like, they're using these axes. They all suck at using these axes. This goes back to the fact that there are all teenagers who are still learning how to do anything, because they're just like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're all terrible at fighting.
Oh, horrible.
Okay. They're basically all at yellow belt, in my opinion.
And then you give an axes and have to fight monsters. Go.
And they're swinging it, and in the middle of it, they're like, "What a fortune, dude!" And they, obviously, it goes back to the comedy that this is. They constantly keep it lighthearted.
Yeah.
While an axe is being thrown at this guy's face, they're talking about how they should thank God they're not a lumberjack, and they're playing like Wheel of Fortune. They're like, everybody loves Vanna.
Yeah.
And
that Wheel of Fortune part. Just stay away from him.
Yeah. Just walk away. Let him finish spinning.
Or at that time, hit him with the axe.
Or hit him in the middle. Hit him. Go rock him. I think 3 of them.
Dude, the one in the middle. But the one thing was funny is, like, as have fights going on, you're panning around the room, your apartment. There are foot soldiers laid out, right? Like, they're not moving. So I'm like, these guys are dead. Like, there are dead teenagers.
Many of those soldiers have been sliced by Leonardo's sword.
Accidentally.
Raph's, what's his thing?
The side.
The side. That's not really like for slashing. It's more for like stabbing. You gotta like then pull it out, and then like stick it back in and pull it out. It's gotta get caught every once in a while. That's not a good weapon.
Your mentality is like, you gotta keep stabbing the guy.
If you're that close, because the thing is only like a foot long. If you're that close, you're going in. Like, you're not just like you're lunging. And
you want to look at that guy right in the eye, or right in the like screened off eyes, and you're just
feeling
like,
you're feeling the muscle that you just teared through, and then you got to pull it out, right? And what about those hooks? If they hook onto something, you're like double pulling out. You're like, shit, like, not a good weapon.
You probably having nightmares every day. So they're fighting. And then what happened? More ninjas show up. This is what I don't even know where they're coming from. It's like a
From the
video
rooftop.
game. Yeah, it's like a video game when you're a guy walking down the street and just people just keep running at you.
Yeah.
Like
No one knew about the foot, but for some reason, there's like
two
there
million.
must have been at least 150 foot at this house.
Yeah, they jump down. They crash through the floor because they've chopped the floor to bits from like the
Hmm.
axis, and they all fall into the antique shop.
Yes.
Okay, a bunch of them should have been dead, right? April O'Neil should totally be dead at this
At
point.
this time, I'm taking my mask off so I can breathe.
Yeah,
It's been a
it's
long
like
fight. It's been a long fight at this point.
you
For some
are.
of them, the ones that are still alive,
Yeah.
like they were running, they were on a rooftop, maybe some parkour was happening. Then now they fell through a roof. It's dusty. You're taking
Oh.
that mask off.
Yeah, you know there's asbestos in that building.
Oh, absolutely. None of them move unless what's the second leader?
Tatsu.
Tatsu sits at his fist and he goes attack. Like you needed to tell them to attack. Like they didn't know that's just what they were doing.
You have the pajamas on. You are definitely you're not there for anything else at this point. Like,
The only reason you're there is to attack.
but there's more of them. That means after a bunch of them jump down from there and they crash through the floor, that then there's even more of them.
See, it would be crazy if you found out they were like clones of just one really bad, mediocre yellow belt.
Just keep making the same guy. Let's go.
He doesn't ever get better. He's just kind of the same.
Oh my God. So then they like fighting in the antique shop. Michelangelo beating a guy up with cymbals. It's not a weapon. And it hurts the guy.
Again, but let's pause. We're analyzing the movie to be more than it was. It was a PG movie for kids.
Where a guy electrocutes himself with an axe, though. Did you see? That's okay. This is where things get crazy. So it's a PG movie. I'm going to give you that. But
there's some comedy in it. That's why they did this, the symbol, whatever.
And then there's this heinous death that happens right after that, where a foot soldier has an axe, swings it at one of the turtles. He misses, obviously, and the axe goes into a wire.
Yeah.
And he gets electrocuted. They keep the camera on the guy, and he's like, and he's like burning. And then the whole apartment gets set on fire instantly. The fire went through there. It was just like, holy shit.
The best pyrotechnics they ever spent.
We totally forgot. Casey Jones shows up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Casey Jones shows up and he's like, why are you beating up my green friend?
And then he sexually harasses April O'Neil. Oh, who's the babe? It's just like, bro, there are... Now you see that there's more than one monster in the world. You've only seen one of them. Now there's 3 other monsters.
Who, by the way, Raph, he fell through the floor with April holding on to him.
Oh, no, he's dead. He's got to be dead.
She's still holding on to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sexually harasses her. Then they attack. And then now he is beating people up with a hockey stick.
It's great. But the best is that the other 3 don't question this guy.
No.
It's the first time they've ever met him.
Yeah.
The only person that knows him is Raph.
It's knocked out.
Raph is knocked out. And he says, what are you guys doing with my green friend?
Yeah.
Doesn't even know Raph's name. And they're all like, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. Like, we're good with this guy.
They're like, oh, we'll just let this older guy deal with this situation. There's the melting phone, right? Like, wouldn't you, if you were Casey Jones and you saw a melting phone, like, just chop it off out of the way? Because now that might hit your head. Get it out of the way. No, he wants to listen to the message.
He totally needs to take a message. He's a really good guy.
He just might as well have called April Toots, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. And that answering machine hits a foot soldier in the head, I guess kills him because he goes down.
It's fine. A hockey stick didn't bring him down.
Yeah, and then he goes into a cubby hole, like a hall, like a secret passage. April's whole building is insane. Yeah. And this little piece of paneling is supposed to keep them from getting chased.
Yeah, like so, nobody else could get in there, like with the axe that they
just had axes. Like, so they run away. April O'Neil is now homeless So this is like the 5th time she gets victimized. Not only is her apartment on fire, she loses the antique shop. But the other thing is this, and this is what's
It's
really
dark
important.
now, by the way.
What? It's
It's
dark
dark
now.
now.
This
Yeah.
fight has been going on for at least 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
6, 7 hours. Are there other people in that building?
No.
So April owns the whole building.
Dude, she's like the number one reporter in New York.
She is rich.
But don't forget that building has a broken window.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So she lives in squalor.
She's actually squatting. Her
Oh,
parents lost that building years ago. She just hasn't left.
no, yeah, and this was the 6th time actually she was victimized. The 5th time was when like the apartment gets destroyed, so that's over now. And then the 6th time is whole building's on fire, so now she's homeless. And the 7th time she gets victimized is she's fired. April O'Neil her life is trash. So I just want to remind everyone again, I love this film. I love this movie.
I just want to let you know that we've gotten really in depth with this movie. I think it's gotten longer than the movie, and I hope everybody knows that you're getting spoilers. Like this like
you're getting spoilers.
We worked out every single spoiler of every little scene that's going on. If you do love this movie, it sounds like you're making fun of it, but it is great. Because the next scene, for some reason, she has a house in the country.
I guess this is New Paltz or like wherever they are, upstate New York somewhere.
Yeah, in another rickety old house.
A huge farmhouse.
She had family that had money.
Where are they?
They're dead.
I love this scene.
I could tell you that I found out that they actually cut this part of the movie. It was a half hour longer.
What?
There was more. Yeah, there was more scenes of Raphael going through depression. There was like more training scenes.
Oh.
At one point, one of them's wearing a hat, a straw hat.
Yeah.
There's more on that.
Wow.
Cut it. I'd like to see it.
I would love this.
There's more scenes of Casey Jones and April's love affair.
Wow. I would love to see all that because I would love to see more of her voiceover. I mean, it's like all of a sudden April O'Neil takes over this whole story. I
thought it was a cool part because it also like brought the drawings in, like more of the comic book look.
Yeah.
I was like, why did they only do 2? I wanted to see, and I think they probably did. I think they went over each person.
Yeah.
Or each character.
Yeah.
And they did it. They cut it. Obviously, it was just Donatello, Leonardo, and she mentions Casey Jones, but she doesn't like
draw him.
Have a drawing.
Well, we don't see the drawing of him possibly.
No, but I'm sure she had it.
Dude, how could you not draw him with that gigantic bulge in the most obscene sweatpants of all time? I mean,
it's amazing. The best too is like how he just calls her every known derogatory thing you could call a woman.
Toots,
babe. Broad, babe.
Broadzilla, that was the best one. Broadzilla, that was great. And he gives her a very inappropriate massage at one point.
She's wearing like no bra?
She's not wearing a bra. This movie's PG.
PG movie.
He almost puts his hands.
She might have heels on at one point.
Yeah, and he puts his hands almost down her entire shirt.
Yes. Michelangelo looks in. Do you know, I also found out another little clue. Michelangelo has no speaking words in the whole time that they're there.
No, he doesn't.
And I have a theory why.
Why?
He's upset about Casey Jones and April's relationship. He's actually embarrassed and jealous and doesn't know how to take it.
Layers. I'm telling you, like this movie has layers.
There's actually layers to it. Because I was like, why they gave Donatello lines, everybody else's line, he only says like, he's very quiet. Did they do that because of like budget cuts or something? And I was like, there's probably some layer in here, and it's because now he's seeing that she will never choose him, and he's like upset.
Yeah, I mean, if you're telling me there's a half hour more of this part of the movie, they definitely had to cut it probably because they're like, this is a kid's movie. And they're probably like, we got to cut this part. This movie would have been 2 hours long if they kept that in.
Yeah.
This whole scene was great because I love how like it brings them together And you're seeing guys in practical costumes in these moments, and it just makes the whole thing so real. You know, Raphael's in the bathtub. Leonardo is trying to like make sure he's okay. I mean, you're just watching it, and you're just like, what is happening? But like, you love it because it's not just crazy, everything's cowabunga. Like, this is a real film. This is emotional. There are layers to this movie, and you know, this is the all is lost moment if you want to think about it, like in the film. Split with this weird scene now with Splinter, who is like hanging off a fence. They beat the crap out of him.
And of course, he's still talking in like, you know,
he's talking in like Buddhist koans to Danny. It's really weird.
Who then continues to tell this more of the origin story.
That's right. This is where we get more of the origin story, which is great because if you think of how this origin story is interspliced with kind of a coming of age story that's happening at the farm as these teenagers are coming into their own. That's why I like the way they did that. It's like something that I feel like more superhero movies need to understand, right? It kind of actually reminds me of Iron Man a little bit. Even though Iron Man, the first Iron Man is an origin story, he's in this cave coming into his own, like trying to develop the Iron Man concept and everything. And like there's this whole part of Iron Man like that in the beginning. And then he's Iron Man, where like the Turtles are the Turtles, but it takes this moment to become like this team of like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I like it. This is when you have that amazing meditation scene and probably like the best CGI of the film, right?
I forgot all about it.
But first you see Leonardo and then Splinter's face, close up on his face, and he's just like, Leonardo. Which is so weird for everyone listening to the podcast. I probably have just heard. If you haven't seen this movie, even if we just ruined the whole movie for you, you have to see this film.
This part was crazy because, again, Michelangelo not saying a word during this time. And then when they're like sitting around this like kumbaya circle, the thing turns blue and you got the hologram, which was cool.
Oh, really great.
Of course, he even in a spiritual hologram, he's going to start talking what he does. And they all just start crying and hugging. And I was like, I think they put that in there just because Jim Henson wanted to prove that you could make people feel for like, you're not a real object. It's a robot or it's a Muppet, you know?
Yeah. So. And I think that what was great is like they capture that really well. It's a good lesson, I guess, for like young men. Be like, oh, crying's okay. And if it's a, you know, you need to get that lesson from a monster mutant turtle. I mean, that's great. They come back to New York. Danny is in their sewer home, which is like, how did he find it?
He must have known because, like, one of the Foot might have told him. One of his older ninja people.
One of the ninja buddies?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
ran away there to run away from Shredder.
Right. But everyone is okay with being in a sewer. This is like, you know, there are rats down there. Like, they're like not just Splinter, but like you can't just sleep on the floor. So they find Danny. April gives him a drawing. Of course, Danny being the worst character in this whole movie, he gets caught by Shredder with his like lie detector blade, you know, and he puts it over him. And then the big fight happens at the end, this end fight. Casey Jones is also, you know, fighting Tatsu. When Casey Jones fights that guy, he can't fight unless he's using sporting equipment. So when he finds a random golf club, he's able to hit this guy with a golf club. And again, they do that floating from the bottom of the body.
The best is. And then he makes a comment like, oh, I'm never going to say bad things about golf anymore.
Best line of the movie. Best one-liner of the movie. I'll never call golf a dull game again.
First of all, why is there a golf club there?
I mean, did they steal it?
Probably.
Who are they stealing?
And they have like a locker room. I want to see this guy's cafeteria. There's a cafeteria. There must be a cafeteria.
There's gotta be. There's gotta be. But this is the other thing. Casey Jones is not surprised at all by seeing Splinter.
Nope.
Like, I know he's seen the Turtles, but now he's seeing Splinter. He's like, huh, okay, well, let's get him out of here. It's just like, wait a second. I have 1,000 questions.
Dude, he lives in New York. He's seen it all.
Again, 90s. Everyone's a mutant in New York in the 90s, I guess, so it doesn't matter.
No one ever told him, like, oh, by the way, unless the Turtles were like, listen, he's a rat.
Splinter's a gigantic rat.
Might smell like sewage. gonna be bleeding all over you.
He definitely has rabies. But so they have this whole fight, huge, amazing fight. The turtles are killing teenagers. I mean, they all over. They're hitting people over the head with pipes. I mean, when April
Oh, this
O'Neil,
is the first time like you saw him. He uses his retracting head move, and he's
oh
like,
yeah,
"I love being a turtle." This goes back to like the fun part of the movie where they're wacky and they're just confident and they're beating them up, and then meanwhile they're also able to joke around and like come up like
yeah,
him and Donatello like love going back and forth.
oh yeah,
Just saying. Which again goes back to those two characters are like the comic relief,
yeah.
and Raph is the serious one, and Leonardo is just kind of there. They need
Ugh.
a person, so
Yeah.
they're like,
Oh yeah. Oh, did you catch the homophobic joke? There's like one homophobic joke in this whole movie.
Yes, I did. I caught it.
It's so weird. Like I was just
How
like,
did
wait.
it go? Do you remember how it
He
went?
goes, "You're claustrophobic." He's like, "Want to punch you in the mouth?" I never looked at another man. We couldn't get through the whole film without one joke. He almost made it. So yeah, so they're beating everyone up. I guess it's that easy to get a sewer grate open and like a sewer cover open because, like, I mean, these guys just.
If you're a mutant turtle, it is.
Yeah, but what about the foot soldier?
Did you notice like they were crawling out of the other hole, like where like the clown would be?
Yeah.
There was a part of the scene where it moved.
That guy flew on his stomach. Like if you did that in the street, like you would be ravaged. So yeah, these are great fight scenes. I really love them. It's so hilarious how you see like the streets riddled with what looks like dead foot soldiers all over the place. They go to the roof and they have their unbelievable face off with Splinter, with Shredder. I mean,
so I didn't like this scene. There's a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm going to tell you this. It's the only scene that Shredder ever shows in all of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, apparently. It's the only scene that Shredder actually shows his fighting style and moves.
Yeah, right.
Second, they were getting their asses by Shredder. And the whole time I'm going, have they not learned that they need to all four of them team up?
Thank you.
Okay? You have a leader who didn't even say that. And he's like, all I know is this guy knows where Shredder is. I mean, where Splinter is. And Leonardo runs at him with two fucking swords. Somehow.
He jumps in the air. Like, that's not a move.
Somehow.
You're a ninja.
The other three are like, let's look at that. And they do nothing.
They do nothing.
Shredder was like, you fools, the three of you could have outpowered me.
Yeah.
He says it right there.
And he's like, "No, you're dead." That's it. And who shows
up in the most awkward way? Because you're not even watching him climb.
How did he get up there?
The three people controlling him were like, we're not having him move.
For what seemed like 4 days, they've been beating this rat. And he's been hanging like he's being crucified. He is not well.
He didn't even look like he was still a whole rat at one point. I thought he was like only like 2 arms and a face.
It seems like whenever a ninja gets angry, they forget that they're ninja. Because Shredder charges him. That's his move. And
now, before we finish that, spoiler
alert.
Before that, Shredder says, before Splinter shows up, Shredder says, throw away your weapons. Yeah. And there's this fantastic cut of the nunchucks getting stuck on the railing.
Yeah.
And you're like, why do you need to show me that? Foreshadowing was huge back then. Because you needed to put it there to explain where he would have gotten nunchucks from in the end. So he charges after him, basically having Leonardo's move, but now it's the other way around. Instead of flying in the air, he's running with this thing. And the rat, who has been beat up, somehow moves to the side and then catches him with a nunchuck.
He's holding a full-size man with what has to be 50 pounds of metal on him with a string. Well, that's really what it is. Like around a smooth pole? There's no way, right?
No. There's no hook on the pole.
Yeah, nothing. There's nothing on the pole. And what does Splinter do? He starts doing his Zen Buddhist thing again. He starts talking to him about, like, I don't know what. Like trying to teach him a lesson?
He has to teach him a lesson. He said, you will die unnoble or something like that.
Without honor. What does Shredder do? He throws a knife at Splinter, and Splinter catches it.
Catch.
Like, are you kidding me? I've only seen this thing in a seat, right?
A pizza landed on the guy's head. He didn't even catch the pizza. He didn't even catch the pizza.
He didn't even take it off his own head. No one took it off his head.
I wouldn't touch that after it touched my head.
Steve, and no one helped him. He's just like, ugh. So you tell me the same guy.
Kids. That's what he said.
The same guy who's been like neglected. Like, this is like elder neglect. He defeats Shredder at the end. You have 4 monster turtles.
They did nothing. Dan, they did nothing.
They killed a bunch of teenagers.
The movie
in
is
pajamas.
They did okay at the house fight. They did really good in the ultimate fight against the shoulders. But against Shredder, Nothing. They did nothing. And a rat that had been beat up for 4 days straight I don't know how he made it. Maybe he floated to the top of it.
I don't know how he got up there.
Okay. He was able to take a nunchuck, wrap it around, and then catch a knife.
Catch a knife that's just like, whoa! Like,
while still doing a speech.
Yeah.
Like a lifelong speech.
And then Shredder falls into a garbage truck.
And the best thing.
And spoiler alert, Casey Jones
crushes him.
Turns it on. This is a PG movie. You see Shredder's helmet being smashed.
Yes. Yeah.
Double spoiler alert. In part 2, Shredder comes back in one piece. I don't know how that's possible. It makes no sense.
You don't have to make sense of it.
Oh, and then finally, I guess the cops finally come because someone called 911. Because they saw a bunch of dead ninjas on the street. They arrest Sam Rockwell, and then April O'Neil gets her job back. April hasn't taken a shower yet, and she has to go on TV now. And she tells Casey Jones to shut up and kiss her.
So this is why I think they should have kept more of the scene besides him like force massaging.
Yeah.
Because then you were like, oh, okay, that came from somewhere. You didn't really see the build-up.
I mean, she should have kissed Raphael.
That wouldn't have flown back then. Interspecies losses. Now that.
Oh my god, the movie's over. Unbelievable film. Splinter says.
I can't believe we went this far with it. I didn't think we were going to go this far in depth, but it shows how much you like the movie.
Oh my god.
Basically, we just told the story of the movie. Like we did everything.
It might be the wrong way to do this, but I just don't know. There was just so much gold in this movie.
I don't think it's the wrong way. I think it's our way, whatever it is. It is,
Did you listen to the end credit song, which was a total summary of the entire movie?
Yes. We could have done that. Was that by the Humpty Dump?
No, that's some random guy. I don't know.
Bro, that sets up, first of all, really 90s.
Super 90s.
Like extremely 90s. That was almost like Rocky 5 kind of like.
Oh my god.
Right? So all right, so let's wrap up. Okay.
Does this pass the test? If you want to go for
All right, I'm gonna go first because this is your movie, so I'm gonna go first. Again, like I said in the beginning, I really was not. I wasn't in it. It didn't grab me. Something about a movie that if it's good, you suspend your disbelief, and only good movies or movies that are worth it will make you do that, and then you stop caring about how cheesy or what. There's no way that could work. It's against all law of physics and stuff like Fast and Furious and all that. So at first I hated it. I'm glad I looked at it again and I looked at it a different lens, and it was definitely nostalgic. I started thinking about the cartoon. And I was really into, and how silly everything was, but at the same time, it was kind of like serious. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very 90s. Now, do I think it's a good movie now and wouldn't stand now? I think a lot of the content wouldn't fly. I think a 9-year-old would like it.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't have shown it to a 9-year-old. You'd probably show it to more like 12 or 13-year-old. They may not like it anymore, but I don't know. It is nostalgic. So I'll say yes, I liked it that way, but I don't know whether it's...
You don't know whether it passes the other test ultimately into past nostalgia.
It's like, hey, this is like, it is a good movie. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was a good movie for its time. The special effects, like I said, I think it was great. I think people don't try as hard anymore like that. They just rely on computer. And I thought it was good that they didn't. And it made you feel more real. It made you almost believe more that, oh, this is what they would look like. This is, and I can't believe I'm analyzing what a turtle would look like if you, right? But where like when you give me like CGI, it's harder for me to believe it and get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm stuck on this one. Yeah.
It made me think, like you said, about the cartoon, how much like of my life when I was a kid was revolved around that cartoon. Actually, with my cousins, we did see the Turtles Out of Their Shell concert at Radio City Music Hall,
Wow.
which was hilarious. And I did have the music from that concert, and I used to listen to it. It reminded me of the games that came out. There was an amazing arcade game that
there was.
Arcade game, and also even like the Impossible game that was on Nintendo. I think that they had a game. It was like impossible to play.
The underwater part.
Yeah, I
heard it's actually almost impossible to beat.
Yeah,
that only a few people know how to do it.
Anyway,
you're right though. That spawned so many different things. Like the 4-player arcade game, everyone loves.
Yeah,
you love that game.
Yeah,
you want to play that game when you see it.
Yeah,
so
it was a cultural phenomenon, and I think for me, when I saw it, I was in that nostalgic space, but I do have to say this movie does pass that test because of the new ones that did come out. And I'm not saying I didn't see them, but just watching the trailer freaked me out because it's a bad representation of what this was. And I feel like this movie, as a superhero movie, if I'm going to put it up against other superhero movies, the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and this, I don't know. I think I could put them in the same place. So for me, I feel like
I agree.
Ninja Turtles does pass the nostalgia test for me. I would probably show people this, and I do recommend to watch this film because this was good, but surrounded by very bad superhero movies. I mean, you had The Shadow came out after this, The Phantom, The Rocketeer, like a ton of movies before it that were trash, Flash Gordon, all that stuff that I just can't sit down and watch. And then this movie right in the middle. But you have movies like Street Fighter, which was bad, Super Mario Brothers, that was a terrible movie.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
So you're looking at...
I don't even want to watch that because it's terrible. There's nothing nostalgic about that at all.
No,
it's just a bad movie.
I would say Ninja Turtles, for me, passes the test.
Okay, so we agree with that. So I'm gonna throw this out there, and this is gonna be a future episode. 3 ninjas. Rocky loves Emily. Rocky. Did you watch that?
Well, yeah, I definitely saw it as a kid. It was 1990. Wow. Oh yeah, I saw this movie. Come on, dude. I'm looking at it right now. 100% saw 3 Ninjas.
Yeah. We need to watch that as another kids movie that's in the future episodes. And I also want to watch Little Trouble, Big China.
I mean, do we watch Powder?
Wow. Is that even a good movie? Or is that just weird?
I don't know. That movie, I didn't understand it, I think, when I saw it. The guy who got struck by lightning was pale, I guess. I don't know.
I think he had been. But anyways.
Wow. Right. So, we really did it, Manny. This was an epic episode.
This is an epic one. This is a long one. It's detailed.
Detailed, but
what seems like we were making fun of, but in the end, love.
Totally loved it. Absolutely. It's a shame that this movie is not considered the one that made the most money, but it should, because the other one, the Michael Bay one, made like $400 something million, but that's when tickets are like $25. So
they also that's crazy. This was independent, phenomenal.
Can't believe that.
Once I learned that, I was like, that's even better.
Total indie film. The Clerks of the superhero genre. Okay.
And I'd actually also want to know, do you think the cartoon was better than this movie?
Yeah, and if you can get your hands on Turtles in Time, just let us know where that is, because that movie doesn't exist.
It's not on Netflix?
No. It was not on there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it's been erased from history.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter @NostalgiaTest and on Instagram @TheNostalgiaTest. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on The Nostalgia Test.